What if I told you that your grandmother, your mother, and you are all victims of the exact same scam? Different decade, different packaging, same devastating result. You ready to see how deep this goes? Before we dig into this financial tomb, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Because what I'm about to show you isn't taught in schools, and the people profiting from your ignorance definitely don't want you to know this. Subscribe to Monetary Archaeologist and let's unearth the truth together. All right, picture this scenario. It's the 1960s. Your grandmother is sitting at the kitchen table, carefully placing cash into envelopes. Rent, groceries, savings. She's been told her entire life that if she works hard, saves diligently, and keeps her money in the bank, she'll be secure. The bank manager smiles at her when she makes deposits. The government praises savers like her. She feels responsible. She feels safe. Now fast forward to the 1990s. Your mom and dad are signing mortgage papers, their hands shaking slightly because the numbers are massive. But the real estate agent reassures them. Property always appreciates, he says with confidence. A house is the best investment you'll ever make. They believe him. Everyone they know believes him. So they sign. 30 years of debt. But it's okay because they're building equity, right? They're securing their future. Now look at yourself today. You're scrolling through your phone. An ad pops up. Don't let your money rot in a savings account. Invest in crypto. Get into stocks. Financial freedom is just one smart investment away. You see people online flashing Lamborghinis, claiming they made millions. Your savings account pays basically zero interest. Inflation is eating your purchasing power alive. So maybe, just maybe, you should take the leap and invest. Everyone's doing it. It must be smart. 3 generations. 3 completely different strategies. And here's the terrifying part. Every single one of them walked straight into a trap. Let's start by digging up what happened to your grandmother's generation. These people lived through wars, rationing, and genuine hardship. They knew the value of a dollar because they had to. Banks were seen as fortresses of safety. You put your money in, it stays safe, it grows a little with interest, and when you retire, you pull it out and live comfortably. Sounds reasonable, right? Except there was a silent assassin lurking in the shadows: inflation. In the 1970s, something catastrophic happened. Prices started rising, not slowly, but violently. In the United Kingdom, everyday people watched in horror as their money lost half its value in just 10 years. Half. Imagine saving for 20 years, thinking you're building security, only to discover that your money can now buy half of what it could when you started. In Italy, the situation was even worse. The lira became a punchline. People needed wheelbarrows of cash just to buy basic necessities. Anyone who trusted savings accounts and government bonds saw their wealth evaporate like water on hot pavement. And here's the cruel irony. Your grandmother did everything right, according to the rules of her time. She wasn't gambling. She wasn't reckless. She followed the advice of bankers, politicians, and financial experts. And she lost anyway. Why? Because the game was rigged from the start. While ordinary savers watched their wealth dissolve, governments were printing money to pay their debts. Banks were lending out deposits at higher rates than they paid savers. The wealthy, who understood the game, moved their money into assets that held real value: land, businesses, gold, things that couldn't be printed into oblivion. Your grandmother's savings were never meant to make her wealthy. They were meant to keep her working, keep her compliant, and transfer her purchasing power to those who controlled the printing press. So after that disaster, the financial advice changed. Clearly, just saving cash wasn't enough. People needed something tangible, something real, something that always goes up in value. Enter the house. Your parents' generation was sold a dream wrapped in bricks and mortar. Buy a house. It's not just a home, it's an investment. Real estate never loses value. You're not throwing money away on rent, you're building equity. And for a while, it seemed true. Housing prices climbed year after year. Families who bought homes in the 1980s saw their property values double, triple, even quadruple. The people who didn't buy were called foolish. You're just making your landlord rich, they were mocked. So everyone rushed in. They stretched their budgets to the breaking point. They took on mortgages that would take 30 years to pay off. They convinced themselves that crushing debt was actually wise financial planning. Then 2008 happened. In Spain, the real estate bubble didn't just pop, it exploded. Families who bought at the peak suddenly owed more than their homes were worth. They couldn't sell, they couldn't refinance, they were trapped. Entire neighborhoods became ghost towns, half-finished developments abandoned like archaeological ruins. Ireland's crash was even more brutal. Housing prices fell by over 50% in some areas. People who bought investment properties lost everything. The dream of wealth through homeownership became a nightmare of foreclosure and bankruptcy. Even in stable markets like the United Kingdom, families who bought in 2007 had to wait more than 10 years just to break even. 10 years of mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance costs, insurance, all just to get back to zero. And here's what nobody told your parents. A house you live in is not an investment. It doesn't generate income. It consumes money every single month. It ties you to a location, limiting job opportunities. It's illiquid, meaning you can't quickly sell it when you need cash. A primary residence is forced savings at best and a financial anchor at worst. But your parents weren't stupid. They did what every expert told them to do. And just like your grandmother, they discovered, too late, that the rules were designed to trap them, not liberate them. Now it's your turn. And let me tell you, the trap has gotten more sophisticated. You've learned from history, right? You're not going to just save cash and watch inflation destroy it. You're not going to dump everything into an overpriced house. You're smarter than that. You're going to invest. Stocks, index funds, cryptocurrency, NFTs, whatever the current trend is, you're going to ride it to financial freedom. The internet is full of success stories. 20-year-olds retiring as millionaires. Regular people turning a few $1,000s into life-changing wealth. The market always goes up in the long run, they say. Just buy and hold. Time in the market beats timing the market. Don't be left behind. So you jump in. Maybe you buy some Tesla stock because everyone says it's the future. Maybe you throw money at Bitcoin because it's digital gold. Maybe you invest in some new cryptocurrency that promises to revolutionize finance. And then the crash comes. 2022 wiped out over $2 trillion in cryptocurrency value. $2 trillion. People who thought they were securing their financial future watched their portfolios collapse by 70, 80, even 90%. Life savings, gone. Dreams of early retirement, shattered. But it wasn't just crypto. Supposedly safe pension funds in Europe nearly imploded because they were loaded with complex derivatives that nobody fully understood. In the Netherlands, one of the most responsible pension systems in the world, retirees saw their benefits quietly cut because the investments couldn't deliver what was promised. Young investors who bought stocks in 2021, convinced the bull market would last forever, saw their accounts cut in half within a year. The people who told them stocks always go up forgot to mention the crashes in between. Here's the pattern. Every generation gets sold a different version of the same lie. Your grandmother was told to save. Your parents were told to buy property. You're told to invest. Different packaging, identical trap. Now let me show you the machinery behind this repeating scam. There are 3 mechanisms that guarantee wealth flows from your pocket to theirs, generation after generation. First, inflation. This is the invisible tax that governments will never admit exists. When they print money to fund wars, bail out banks, or buy votes with stimulus checks, that money doesn't appear from nowhere. It dilutes the value of every dollar you already own. Your wages might go up 3%, but if prices rise 5%, you just got a pay cut, and most people don't even notice. Second, bubbles. Here's how they work. Asset prices start rising. Houses, stocks, tulips, doesn't matter. Early buyers make money. Media hypes it up. FOMO kicks in.
Ordinary people pile in at the peak, convinced they're making smart investments. Then the insiders cash out. Prices collapse. Wealth transfers from the many to the few. Rinse and repeat. Third, debt. This is the chain that keeps you locked in place. Student loans, mortgages, credit cards, car payments. Every monthly obligation keeps you working, keeps you compliant, keeps you from taking risks or building real wealth. The system needs you in debt because debt makes you controllable. Together, these three forces create a perpetual extraction machine. It doesn't matter whether you save, buy property, or invest in markets. The machine adapts. It always finds a way to take from the bottom and deliver to the top. You think I'm exaggerating? Let me take you back through history. Ancient Rome. The emperors kept debasing the silver denarius, mixing in cheaper metals until the coins were practically worthless.
Salmon citizens kept using them because they had no choice. Meanwhile, the wealthy elite protected their fortunes with land, grain stores, and tangible resources. Same scam, ancient version. Weimar Germany, 1920s. Hyperinflation destroyed the savings of millions. People needed wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. Life savings became worthless overnight. But those who owned factories, farms, or real assets, they survived. They even thrived. While paper money burned, real wealth remained. Greece after the 2008 financial crisis. Pensioners who worked their entire lives saw their retirement benefits slashed. Banks froze accounts. People couldn't access their own money. But the international creditors, they got paid first, always. The script never changes. Erode the currency, inflate the bubble, crash the market, extract the wealth. The only thing that changes is the costume. But here's what gives me hope, and what should give you hope too. Not everyone loses. In every gold rush, miners went broke. But do you know who got rich? The people selling shovels. Levi Strauss made a fortune selling denim pants to prospectors. Samuel Brannan became California's first millionaire by selling mining equipment. They didn't chase gold, they sold to the people chasing gold. During every housing crash, some people get wiped out, but others buy distressed properties at 20 cents on the dollar and build generational wealth. During every stock market collapse, some investors lose everything, but those who understand the cycle buy quality assets at bargain prices and ride the next wave up. The difference isn't luck, it's understanding the game. The masses chase promises of easy security. The informed few build around real value. They don't follow trends, they anticipate cycles. They don't speculate, they accumulate productive assets. They don't get emotional, they stay disciplined. So what's the alternative? How do you escape the trap that caught your grandmother, your parents, and most of your peers? First, redefine what an asset actually is. Your primary residence isn't an asset, it's a lifestyle choice. An asset generates income or holds value independently of currency fluctuations. A rental property that produces cash flow, that's an asset. A business that provides essential services, that's an asset. Skills that people will pay for in any economy, those are assets. A savings account that pays less interest than inflation, that's not security. That's slow-motion wealth destruction. A house with a massive mortgage that drains your income, that's not an investment. That's an anchor. A retirement fund managed by someone else, filled with investments you don't understand, that's not a nest egg. That's a hope and a prayer. Real wealth comes from things that produce value regardless of what the market does. A skill that solves problems. A business that meets genuine needs. Assets that generate cash flow even during recessions. It's not sexy. Nobody's going to make a viral TikTok about it. But it's the difference between being the prospector who died broke and the merchant whose family still lives off the fortune he built. Here's the moment of truth. You have a choice right now that your grandmother and parents didn't have. You have access to information they could never imagine. You can see the pattern. You can learn from their mistakes.
You can refuse to play the rigged game. Your grandmother couldn't see that inflation would destroy her savings because she was told banks were safe. Your parents couldn't see the housing bubble because everyone around them said property always goes up. But you can see it all now. The question is, will you act differently? History doesn't repeat perfectly, but the financial system makes sure the mistakes do. Inflation will continue eroding currency. Bubbles will continue forming and popping. Debt will continue trapping people. The machinery will keep running, unless you step out of it. That means thinking differently. It means building wealth in assets that survive crashes. It means developing skills that can't be inflated away. It means understanding cycles instead of chasing trends. It means having the courage to look foolish in the short term so you can be secure in the long term. The masses will always chase the new promise. They'll pile into whatever is hyped today and wonder why they lost tomorrow. But you don't have to be part of the crowd. You can be the person selling shovels while everyone else digs for gold. 3 generations, 3 different traps, 1 identical outcome. But it doesn't have to be your outcome. See, the system isn't designed for you to win, and that's actually liberating. Once you accept that the game is rigged, you stop playing their game and start building your own. You stop waiting for permission to build wealth. You stop following advice designed to benefit someone else. You start making decisions based on principles that have worked for centuries, not trends that emerged last Tuesday.
The people who built lasting wealth throughout history weren't lucky. They were informed. They understood that paper promises mean nothing. They understood that true value comes from production, not speculation. They understood that wealth is built slowly through disciplined accumulation, not quickly through gambling. Your grandmother lost to inflation. Your parents lost to debt. Your generation is losing to speculation. But you, individually, can break the pattern. Don't let inflation silently rob you. Don't treat your home as your retirement plan. Don't chase bubbles just because everyone else is. Focus on building and owning things that create genuine value. Things that people need regardless of what the economy does. Things that can't be printed, can't be inflated, can't be taken away with a policy change. Because when the next crash comes, and it will come, the masses will panic, wondering where their wealth went. But you'll know exactly where it went. It went to the people who understood the game, the people who positioned themselves correctly, the people who learned from history instead of repeating it. If this opened your eyes to something you hadn't seen before, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Here at Monetary Archaeologist, we dig through the ruins of financial history to find the truth that's been buried. We uncover the patterns the powerful don't want you to see. We give you the tools to break cycles that have trapped generations. History has all the answers. You just need to know where to look. And we're here to show you exactly that. See you in the next excavation.